Today we've got the first hands-on video of the new Pixel 8a, on top of all of the confirmation on the specs and colors, so make sure you hit subscribe now and we'll get right into it. So first up, we've got a great deal running at Best Buy where you can get 30% off the Pixel 8 unlocked or locked to a network, making it just $500, and this seems to be a much better choice than the new Pixel 8a. And for those of you who want a bit more, they've also got good offers on the Pixel 8 Pro, so for anyone that wants to take advantage of that, I've placed the link down in the description below, or you can click the card in the top right corner now. Now back to the Pixel 8a, and before we get into the hands-on video, we've got the full spec lease tweeted by Yogesh Bra, and it confirms plenty of upgraded specs from its predecessor, and excitingly, he also advises it's going to be a 120Hz display instead of last year's 90. Now he advises we're going to get a 64MP primary camera with optical stabilization, a 13MP ultra-wide camera, and then a 13MP selfie camera. So looking at the specs, it may be the exact same camera system as on the Pixel 7a, but of course there will be improvements in photography thanks to the new software. Now the phone is of course going to be using the new Tensor G3 chipset, and will no doubt get more AI features that aren't available on the 7a, and thankfully the battery capacity has also been increased to 4500 mAh, along with the fast charging increased to 27 watts. Now he also says that the cost is going to be around $500 to $550, and as I said at the start, if that's the case, then you're better off picking the Pixel 8 now with the Best Buy offer for $500. Now next up, we've got the leaked renders showing us the new design and colors, as well as a new hands-on video confirming that all of it's correct. And if we start with the renders, they were leaked by Android Headlines, and they confirm that the Pixel 8a is going to be coming in a choice of obsidian, mint, porcelain, and bay, and this is essentially black, mint green, a beigey white color, and blue. Now it shows us that the design is exactly as we were expecting, with the dual camera setup, a curvy design with a flat display, and of course it's slightly smaller than the Pixel 8 with a 6.1-inch display instead of the 6.2-inch. Next up, we've got the first hands-on video by GSM Islam on Instagram, although the video has since been removed, but they do look to be legitimate retail units of the Pixel 8a in the mint green and the bay color. Now the video also mentions that these models have 8GB of RAM along with 128GB of storage, and it also says 4750 DH for the price, and I believe this is the dirham, but that price cannot be correct as that would make it almost $1300. But the video gives us a good look at the rear of the phones, as well as confirming the package remains pretty much unchanged. We don't get a good look at the displays because of the protective stickers, but it does also confirm the slightly matte frosted finishes on the back instead of a glossy finish. Now Google's new I/O event is going to be held on the 14th of May next month, and this will of course whether be announcing Android 15, Wear OS 5, and the new Pixel 8a. So when it comes to the Pixel 8a, it's not long until it's going to be launched, and we've got all the details from Google. But for those of you excited, we're now going to run through the full specs, design, and the expected pricing of the Pixel 8a to help you guys decide if this is the phone for you. So the Pixel 8a is coming with a 6.1-inch OLED display. The overall design is going to be more rounded than its predecessor, but it's still a flat display. It's a 120Hz display with a Full HD Plus resolution, and it's protected by Gorilla Glass Victus. The selfie camera is going to be a punch-hole camera in the top center of the display, and it's going to be a 13MP selfie camera with an aperture of f2.2, and we get 4K videos at 60 frames a second from the selfie camera. Over on the rear, it's a dual camera setup. We've got a 64MP primary camera with phase detect autofocus, optical image stabilization, and an aperture of f1.9, along with a 13MP ultra-wide with an aperture of f2.2. Now the Pixel 8a is going to be powered by the new Tensor G3 chipset, although as we've seen from early benchmarks, it seems it's going to be running lower clock speeds than the Tensor G3 found in the Pixel 8. And it will of course come with 8GB of RAM and a choice of 128 or 256 storage, and this will be UFS 3.1. It's coming with a 4500 mAh battery, and thankfully we finally got some upgrades to fast charging, with the Pixel 8a offering 27W wired charging. Now the Pixel 8a is going to come with 5G, Bluetooth 5.3 and Wi-Fi 7, and it will of course ship with Android 14. It's launching in May 2024, and while the launch price is still unconfirmed and can of course change as we run up to launch, we're expecting a launch price of around $550. So overall, the Pixel 8a is looking like exactly what we expect from Google, a more budget-friendly phone that takes some good photos and videos, but to be fair, this year we're also seeing more spec upgrades than normal. With the higher refresh rate and brighter display, I think this really is going to be a good contender for the mid-range phones, and for someone who doesn't want all of the bells and whistles that come with the Pixel 8 or the Pixel 8 Pro, then it's definitely going to be a great choice. Now of course, as always with Google, they aren't good at keeping anything a secret, so as with this close to launch, we'll most likely have every single detail confirmed as well as a lot more hands-on videos, and of course I'll be sharing them as soon as they come in, so make sure you subscribe so you don't miss a thing in the future.